Welcome to the Agentic AI podcast. Today, we're diving into something really crucial, especially if you're looking at using autonomous AI in your organization. Now, you've probably heard the buzz, right? The excitement around Agentic AI, these intelligent systems designed to perceive, reason, and critically, to act. They aim to achieve complex goals, often working across different tools you already have. The potential, well, it seems huge for revolutionizing how businesses operate. But we also need to face a pretty sobering reality, one that MIT recently brought to light. Okay, let's unpack this number because it's quite something. And staggering 95% of agentic AI projects are apparently failing in enterprises. Just let that sink in, 95%. That sounds almost, well, unbelievable, doesn't it? For way too many companies, that initial dream of, transforming everything overnight with these AI agents is hitting some serious walls. We're seeing projects just stall out, or they struggle like mad to scale beyond a small pilot, or sometimes they just collapse entirely under costs and complexities nobody saw coming. It's proving to be a tough lesson.
Yeah, and it's really vital to understand this isn't necessarily saying agentic AI itself is flawed. The core tech, the basic idea, it still holds immense promise. What's interesting, though, is that the problem often isn't what the AI can do, but much more about the how. How enterprises are actually trying to put it into practice. So that's what we're here for, right? To dissect why so many initiatives are, faltering. And maybe more importantly, figure out what makes that successful 5% different. They're clearly doing something else.
Exactly. So our mission in this deep dive is to arm you with insights from those companies that have figured it out, the ones navigating these waters successfully. We'll look at the common traps, the pitfalls that trip so many people up. And then we'll lay out the 5 essential pillars for making your agentic AI projects actually succeed. Because this isn't just about cool experiments anymore, right? It's about building for real, measurable impact. Okay, so given that huge 95% figure, where do things typically go wrong first? Let's shine a light on those common missteps, because understanding these is really the first step to avoiding them yourself, learning from others' experiences, maybe their mistakes too. One of the biggest issues we see pretty frequently, actually, is treating these really sophisticated agents like glorified chatbots. They get deployed as just another conversational layer, sort of slapped on top of existing problems, but without any deep, real integration into how work actually gets done, kind of bolted on instead of being woven in.
And a key insight comes up when you look at that. What's the real difference between just talking, conversation, and actually doing something, execution? When these agents can't take decisive action, end to end within a process, they just get stuck talking. They can answer questions, provide info, sure, but they can't act. They never hit that full potential for automation and real business results. Think about like an agent that knows your refund policy inside out, but it can't actually start the refund process in your system.
Right, it's just an information desk.
Exactly. A very knowledgeable one, maybe, but it can't book the room or call the taxi, so to speak. It becomes an expensive talker, not a digital worker.
Okay, now this next one. This is where things can get really interesting and, frankly, sometimes pretty painful for the teams involved. Some teams, and they often have great intentions and serious engineering skills, they just get completely lost in the weeds. They end up spending months, maybe even longer, building really complex custom infrastructure, tweaking models endlessly, creating these incredibly bespoke pipelines from the ground up.
Yeah, and to put that in context, all this huge effort, this upfront investment, it often happens before they've proven even one single measurable business outcome. It's like building this amazing engine for a supercar before you even know if the customer needs a car, or maybe just a bike, or even a bus pass.
Right. Spending millions tuning an LLM.
Exactly. Only to find out the real problem was like simple data entry that a pre-built agent platform could have handled in weeks. And this leads to what you could call innovation fatigue. You just burn through resources, drain the budget, kill the enthusiasm, all without showing any real value back to the business. The focus shifts from solving a problem to just building complex tech for its own sake. And that's, a recipe for failure.
This next pitfall, oh boy. This is a huge one, especially if you're talking to enterprise decision makers or anyone in security and governance.
Yeah.
The risks involved in pushing sensitive company data, proprietary stuff, into external third-party AI services. They are often seriously underestimated. We're about customer data, IP, internal operational details, everything.
And it's often overlooked how this frequently leads to these massive culture clashes with the CISO, with the security teams, and ultimately, projects just get shut down. Security folks are, quite rightly, super cautious. Compliance, data governance, These have to be non-negotiables. They can't be afterthoughts you try to patch in later.
Makes sense.
Securing your data, adhering to privacy standards like GDPR, HIPAA, or just your own internal rules, that needs to be baked in from day one. A core design principle. If your AI needs customer records, those records have got to stay within your trusted environment. They can't be shipped off somewhere else for processing. If you don't design for privacy and security proactively, doesn't matter how great the AI is, the project's likely sunk.
Okay, let's talk about proof of concepts, POCs. They can be really exciting, right? Generate buzz, get leadership buy-in, show off what might be possible. But what happens when you try to go from that small controlled pilot to, the whole organization? Thousands of users, messy real-world data.
Right, and that brings up the whole question of real-world complexity, doesn't it? Pilots often just collapse when they hit the scale and the messiness of enterprise-wide integrations. You've got disparate systems, often legacy ones, getting users across different departments, each with their own way of doing things, to actually use it, and then ensuring it's reliable enough for a large organization. These are massive hurdles.
So the pilot works in a lab, but not in the wild.
Pretty much. A successful agentic AI project needs a clear, thought-out roadmap for scaling right from the beginning, not just a plan for a tiny experiment. Without that foresight, the pilot just becomes a dead end, a cool demo that never actually delivers real enterprise value. I remember this brilliant POC for an HR onboarding agent. Everyone loved it. But trying to roll it out to hundreds of new hires a month, they found the pilot hadn't accounted for connecting to the old payroll and benefit systems. The whole thing just ground to a halt under real data loads. Nightmare.
So we were talking about intelligent agents, right? Those systems meant to learn and adapt over time. But what if that learning mechanism, that crucial feedback loop, isn't really there or isn't designed properly?
Well, the broader implication there is that without ongoing reinforcement, without learning directly from human users, these agents can start to drift. They can drift away from what you actually intended them to do. This can lead to those hallucinations we hear about, generating wrong, irrelevant, sometimes even harmful information. Or maybe more subtly, they just lose the trust of the people they're supposed to help.
Okay, I see. Like they forget their purpose.
Sort of. Imagine a support ticket agent that suddenly starts misfiling urgent issues as low priority just because its initial training didn't see enough weird edge cases. Having that robust human-in-the-loop feedback is absolutely critical. It lets the agents get smarter, safer, and stay aligned with what the business actually needs over time. It's definitely an ongoing process, not just a one-time training thing.
Okay, so we've walked through that minefield of common pitfalls. What does it all mean for your projects, for the listener? It really boils down to this.
Yeah.
The approach you take is absolutely everything. Looking at the organizations that are getting it right, that 5%, we've identified 5 key pillars that consistently lead to success. These are the principles that turn the potential into actual results. This first pillar, it really flips the script on how a lot of folks approach AI traditionally. Instead of starting with the tech, hey, look at this cool new model, you lead with the business need. What problem are you actually trying to solve? Starting with the why.
Right, exactly. The key insight here is shifting the focus away from just tech wizardry towards actual demonstrable value. You really need to ask yourself, okay, which processes are causing the most friction? Where are the headaches, the big costs, the customer frustrations? Which of those can agents automate to genuinely save money or significantly improve the experience for customers or employees? Anchor your project on measurable KPIs right from the start.
So metrics matter more than model size.
Absolutely. It's easy to get hyped about a huge multi-billion parameter model, but if that fancy tech is solving a problem that doesn't really move the needle on cost or satisfaction, then it's just a very expensive toy. AI success isn't measured by model sophistication. It's measured by business value. Are you cutting errors? Slashing processing time? Boosting employee morale? Those are the things that count.
We just talked about the trap of over-engineering, getting bogged down in custom builds. If that's such a common problem, what's the better way? What's the agile alternative?
Well, if you step back, that traditional custom approach, building complex pipelines, integrating tons of different models, those never-ending development cycles, it creates a lot of hidden technical debt. It slows everything down, makes your AI brittle, expensive to maintain.
Yeah, it sounds painful.
It can be. The solution often lies in these enterprise-grade, no-code agent platforms. Platforms like the ones from companies such as lowtouch.ai, they dramatically speed up time to value. But maybe even more importantly, they empower the business teams, the people who actually understand the process, the customer needs. They empower them to own, build, and evolve these workflows without constantly needing specialized developers.
So a business analyst could build an agent.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Using drag and drop tools instead of needing a Python expert for every little integration. It democratizes AI, makes it truly scalable.
Okay, pillar 3. We highlighted compliance and data privacy as something that can just stop projects cold. How do the successful companies handle this proactively? Turn it into a strength.
Yeah, a critical point here is how you make compliance a fundamental part of the design, not an obstacle, not an afterthought. And the most effective way we're seeing is deploying the AI within a secure appliance that runs inside your existing infrastructure. So whether that's on-prem in your data center or inside your private cloud environment, your VPC or VNet, this ensures that sensitive data never, ever leaves your trusted zone.
Keeping it internal.
Exactly. And that approach is absolutely key to avoiding those painful clashes with security teams. You get their buy-in, you move faster, and you don't risk your company's data. It changes the conversation from, is this secure enough, to, yes, it's secure by design.
Right. Pillar 4. Remember we talked about agents getting stuck just talking, not doing.
Mm.
This pillar tackles that head on. It's all about action, making them true digital workers.
And one really interesting aspect here is the emphasis on true action. Agents have got to connect directly into your existing enterprise systems. We're talking help desks, CRMs, APIs, databases, even collaboration tools like Slack or Teams. And crucially, they need to be capable of taking meaningful React steps that's reason plus act.
Reason plus act. So
Yes.
thinking and doing.
Precisely. So instead of just telling a user a customer subscription is about to expire, an agent using React might reason that the next step is offering a renewal discount. Then it would act by connecting to the CRM to generate a personalized email. And maybe it even acts again by scheduling a follow-up task for sales, all on its own. Without that deep, actionable integration, your AI is just another information silo, not a real digital worker changing how things operate.
Okay, final pillar. To stop agents drifting or hallucinating, making mistakes, continuous learning seems absolutely non-negotiable. It's about ongoing intelligence.
Yeah, and to put that into context, every single interaction a user has with an agent, that's a golden opportunity for reinforcement for learning. With that human-in-the-loop refinement, agents genuinely get smarter over time. They become safer, more precisely aligned with what your business actually needs. This isn't just about the initial training data. It's about setting up this virtuous cycle.
Where humans constantly make it better.
Exactly. Human oversight, human feedback, continuously improving performance. If an agent suggests something and a human overrides it, that override becomes a lesson for the agent. This is how you ensure they consistently deliver value and, really importantly, build lasting trust with the humans they work alongside. It makes the system adaptive, not brittle.
So wrapping this all up, what does it mean for you, for your organization? That 95% failure rate for Agentic AI, it's not a death sentence for the technology, not at all. Instead, it's a really clear signal, a loud one, that the approach needs to change. The way we deploy this in the enterprise has to evolve by really focusing on clear business outcomes first, leveraging those agile, no-code platforms for speed, prioritizing absolute data privacy with secure designs, ensuring deep integration so agents can actually act, and building in those continuous human feedback loops. You'd absolutely be part of that successful 5%.
Yeah, and a crucial point for you to consider is this: Agentic AI. It isn't just some passing fad. It's rapidly becoming the new way enterprise automation works. We're talking about true digital workers that don't just inform, they act intelligently and autonomously. The companies that consciously build on these right foundations, these 5 pillars, they won't just avoid the failure trap. They're the ones who will define the competitive landscape for the next decade. So maybe think about where your organization stands today on these 5 critical points. Are you setting yourself up for the 5% or heading towards the 95%?
Absolutely. It really is about unlocking that competitive edge, moving past just playing with tech into strategic, impactful deployment. We really hope this deep dive on the Agentic AI podcast has given you a clearer, more actionable roadmap for your own enterprise AI journey. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to exploring more with you next time.